Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Friday again. Thank God it's Friday and tomorrow is a weekend. Okay, so we can enjoy our weekend with families and friends and a good time of rest. Okay, thank God it's Friday. Now, today, good news for Bitcoin. Two more countries are legalizing Bitcoin and crypto. Okay, who are they? Who are they? If history is to observe, September traditionally is a low month for Bitcoin. And what are we expecting? This will be the discussion today. Welcome to Bitcoin Byte. Welcome to Bitcoin Byte and welcome everybody. Welcome Zandy, welcome Vivian, welcome Willie, welcome Susan Farm, welcome Sunny, and welcome everybody. We have friends from so many countries. Regina, we have Oi, Ong, we have so many friends all over the place. Yes, thank you, welcome, welcome. My name is Richard from Success Resources. We are the world leading education provider. Every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and today is Friday. This is streamed live on Facebook and on YouTube. We will be making videos talking about Bitcoins and cryptocurrency investing. And if this is the topic you like to learn about, make sure you subscribe to the channel, tap the up button and inform your friends about this. So if you have been getting value, please inform your friends about this so that they can also join us. So click on the notification bell. So whenever we have a video, you are the first to know. So I am very delighted again to have my friend, Dr. Clemen Chiang to the program. He is no stranger to many of you. He's an authority in financial investing and also a well-known teacher and coach to many, many thousands of students all over the world. Dr. Clemen Chiang, welcome. Welcome to the program.
Wow, what a warm welcome. Thank you so much, Richard, for having me in your show. Thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday. Now, Dr. Clemen, today we are going to discuss some very interesting topic. Now, Bitcoin started with interest from ordinary people. Yeah, ordinary people, look at Bitcoin, invest in Bitcoin, and learn everything about it, and only caught the attention from institution only maybe this year, right? Institution caught their attention, and then it spread to financial institution. Now, today's small country like El Salvador, just 2 days ago, make Bitcoin a legal tender in the country. Now, question for you, Dr. Clemen, is whether other countries are doing the same, right? It's starting from maybe the less developed country and then maybe move to other country, more developed countries. So what do you see is the trend cascading to more developed country accepting and adopting Bitcoin?
Yep. Richard, spot on. You know, we have just started officially the domino effect. Right now, the dominoes start to fall with the very first country, El Salvador, kicking it off. Now, there are a few important points I hope our viewers today will kind of take out their secret little black book, write down the notes, and so that we can really fire off the knowledge and wisdom. So step one, what is really, really important? Here we go. Whenever a country goes and declare a legal tender of Bitcoin as the default currency, this is what they need to do. Step one, they really need to go out there to the marketplace to buy up Bitcoin. As kind of a hedge. It also kind of serve as a pledge that there's sufficient Bitcoins in their treasury to back up as a national stabilizing currency for their domestic use. But we know the reason why El Salvador is going for legitimizing Bitcoin is because they're going to save hundreds of millions of dollars annually just on the remittance fees alone. That's the reason why they plunge ahead. And right off, we are seeing this big statement. Okay, they bought $21 million of Bitcoin. This is always the step one. And that means to say they have to keep buying more Bitcoins as a country. So we want to kind of take note and know exactly how many Bitcoins do they have in their wallets today. Right over here, it says that President Nayib Bukele purchased 200 Bitcoins ahead of the El Salvador formal adoption of the currency. So that's step one. We talk about this. Very important. They have to buy first. And then he added another 150, bring the country's total Bitcoin to 550 Bitcoins. And I can tell you, it doesn't stop there. Richard, he will keep on buying more and more as a hedge. Now, so this first domino kick off, and then we realized that there's a headline start popping in. Wow, right now, Ukraine becomes the 5th nation to formally recognize and regulate Bitcoin. So you have El Salvador, you have Panama, you have Cuba, and right now you have Ukraine. And when I think about Ukraine, straight off, I want to come to this page right here, bitcointreasuries.org. This is the only place that kind of a document formally which are the countries that own Bitcoin today, and they are willing to kind of publish the results. So you can see Bulgaria, 213,000 Bitcoin. Ukraine, 46,000 Bitcoin. So, I mean, we are looking at El Salvador with a very small holding, about 500 Bitcoins, and they took the first step and straight away and say, okay, I want to launch my Bitcoin already. But Ukraine is next at 46,000. So we expect a much more stable launch, a much more regulated launch, and the people are kind of prepared for it. So the domino effect has kickstarted. 3 major ideas for all of us here today. Number 1, governments of the day are going out there to legitimize Bitcoin. And the domino started. Step 2, they're going to start buying before the launch. And after the launch, they're going to continue to buy some more. Step 3, this will straight away whip up what we call the nerve-wracking effect, forcing all other countries to start buying up Bitcoins as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, the race has started, and you are right now first person in history to witness this race. The horn just kicked off, and here we go. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. You see, in the past, Dr. Clemen, Bitcoin, government has always associated Bitcoin with criminals and illegal activities and money laundering, drugs, and all those crime and all those things, right? Now, so when government began to legitimate Bitcoins and to make Bitcoin a legal tender, it's a supply and demand thing. That when there is more demand and limited supply, I mean, we can always guess where the price of Bitcoin will go. So, well, now no more just criminal and ordinary people and institution and banks. Now country are into it. Yeah. So now, Dr. Clemen, now the Bitcoin crypto community and the Bitcoin community are looking forward to a US Bitcoin ETF, because we believe that the Bitcoin ETF, if approved, will massively increase the global adoption of Bitcoin. Yeah, because it go mainstream, and of course, this will massively drive up the Bitcoin price. But however, even with many dozens of applications by giant institutions such as Fidelity, BlackRock, who else, Art Invest, and many of these giant institutions, SEC has still been like sitting on it and delaying and postponing their decision. An announcement by SEC yesterday, it was yesterday's paper, yesterday news, that there's a date of 14 November with a definite answer to approve or disapprove one of the applicant. My question for you, Dr. Clemen, is how do you see this development moving forward? And also, if ETF, if a Bitcoin ETF is approved and there's one in the market, assumption, how will it affect the price of Bitcoin?
Wow, that's a great question, Richard. And you know what? Finally, SEC is willing to nail down an official date. So everybody, please write this down onto your diary. 14th of November, it becomes right now a trigger date. Everybody will be watching this, and this timing is kind of a really perfect, because right now we're in the middle of September, and end of summer holidays will arrive end of September. October, another month, kind of prepare, because we are launching our global Bitcoin festival. And finally, bam, 14th of November, this is the biggest event of the year for Bitcoin. So let me go through with all of us the key salient points that we need to take away from this very important application by Wang It Bitcoin ETF. So here we go. First of all, in this paragraph, they kind of map out, okay, the timeline that any companies can launch an application with Securities Exchange Commission, and the clock starts ticking. Now, in the past, kind of a SEC play a little bit of a cheat on the timeline by not making decisions and allow the time to kind of elapse. But this time around looks like it is dead serious. They have to give us an official answer on 14th of November, all right, of which it is a binary outcome, either approve or disapprove. There's no more third option whereby they will postpone again, all right? So that was the really irritant of the past. Now, as we go down right here, then jolly well, we know that there's so many other parties are also waiting on the application list. And that's the reason why we are very deeply concerned with recent actions by SEC Chairman Gary Gensler. And my thoughts about this, Richard, is that, you know, he wanted more political power because there are two government agencies right here, CFTC, what represents for Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and SEC, which represents for Securities Exchange Commission. These two ambit, they do not fall directly under Chair Gary Gensler. So he's going back to Congress and say, hey, you want me to be the policeman? No problem. Put me in charge of CFTC as well. And then I can have a big picture. Or else I'm going to push the ball over to CFTC because they're going to look at it as a commodity. But that's not the outcome we want. And that's not the Bitcoin futures ETF we want. We want the full authentic Bitcoin ETF. Now, once this is kind of approved, here we go. We got to study this very important article right here. How the Bitcoin market will really rally or do if an ETF is approved. And I kind of like the format of this author because he straight away put up a correlation with gold. A path like gold or better. Because back then in 2004, gold was for the first time approved on the gold ETF, right over here. And we're gonna kind of map out together with you on the map. So I got a map ready right here, and let's check this out. This is the kind of a chart that we need to study, dive deep in, and to truly understand how a gold ETF, which has a direct correlation to a Gold 2.0 or digital Gold 2.0 Bitcoin ETF, how we're going to correlate the two together. All right. So first, we note down the very, very important date. That was in November 2004, right here on this date. And 2003 was the first gold ETF approved, but the trading only started in 2004. All right. So we kind of take this idea, come back to here. Between 2003 and 2004, so there's already a little movement right over here, little movement. But the moment we start counting from 2004, here we go. We are tracing from 400 all the way to round up a nice round number, 2000. So let's note down 400 to 2000. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that represents a 5-time movement. 5 times movement. So if you take a 5x movement, then we jolly well do a simple math, all right? A very simple math. How we do it? Here we go. We take 50,000 multiplied by 5. And straight away, you can see why so many pundits on the market, they are expecting at least Bitcoin to hit $250,000 as a target price. Because they can use different metrics. And one of the metrics is a direct correlation with gold ETF in comparison to a Bitcoin ETF. So you are seeing these numbers hit on in front of you. And then what are you doing about it? You are straight away going back here and kind of a circle out. Holy moly. I better get serious with my diary. I better note down this November 2014. And I know September, this is right now the window of opportunity for me to get in. October is the month things will start to move, preparation work will start to appear on news media across the world. And October is the most important month for us because we're taking the lead in the global Bitcoin festival. Bam! November 14 arrived. You see firsthand that you plow and seeded the field, and you shall reap a bountiful harvest. Back to you, Richard.
Oh, thank you, Dr. Clemen. Thank you for that expounding of that news. But you know, your statement, there's a powerful statement that you made just now. It says, what are you going to do about it? Now, we all have, you know, we all absorb all this news, but your statement is spot on. What are you going to do about it? Okay, when we follow historically, right? Bitcoin, historically, September is a low month. Even Plan B in his stock to flow model predict that, right? He says that September is a low month. I think, you know, the price will go to 43, which already hit already. Now, question to you is this, that how will you think that this September will go? And also, what is your take on October, November, and December for Bitcoin?
Oh, yes, that's a great narrative on what we call the curse of the month of September. Literally.
Do you buy that? I mean, the question to you is, do you buy that? If yes, how low do you think it will go? And what is your take for October, November, December?
Yes, and I think I buy that idea because history always kind of help us connect the dots. And that's the reason why this big article right here, they call it the September curse. And we really need to dive in and look at the past few years, how the September curse kind of play out. So we're going to start off with here. That is 2017. And in 2017, you know, you can look literally at this window and kind of plan your move, all right? This is the window. So it dropped to the lowest at the middle of September. Look at our date today. We are kind of middle of September as well. That's a clue. All right, that's 2017, the lowest point in the middle of September. All right, so we note down 2017. Now we go to 2018. Here we go. 2018, again, the lowest point is kind of middle of the month, and then kind of start taper up, move up a little bit again. All right, so we got 2 years of data already. Next, 2019. Here we go. And 2019, okay, if you buy at the middle, then suddenly there's a plunge down. All right, there was a big plunge down. Now, are we expecting a plunge down? That is the question. All right, so I'm going to kind of circle it right here to ask us to think together and check our blind spots. What are the possible things that can cause the month of September for Bitcoin to further plunge down? I can think of not many, because I know in the month of September, there are already 4 countries ready to legitimize Bitcoin. We talked about it just now. El Salvador kick off, Cuba next, Panama next, and Ukraine next. And look at Ukraine, the holding of Bitcoin. It's like monster, right? And we haven't even talked about the big institutions coming on stream. And, you know, I've been reading up today, the hottest news, MasterCard just bought a Bitcoin or crypto-related company. They are already wanting to know much more deeper data analytics. Then, since these questions and doubts have been addressed, then we go on to the final one, 2020. Here we go. This is the 2020, middle of the month, you pick it up, it kind of float. And again, they call it the curse of September. Now we've gone through 7, 8, 9, and 2020. Why don't we take a look right now at what the market has to offer us? So I put it right up here. I'm going to show you a simple indicator. We spoke about it in our previous videos. And here we go. I'm going to open up the red, green, blue, simple moving average. Red line for 50 days and green line for 200 days. We always do red, green, blue. All right, then you can really remember the flow. And what are we observing right here? Mama, check this out. The red line is about to cross above the green line, 50-day moving above 200-day. And that is a very, very, very powerful technical indicator. Why is that so? Because in the world of Bitcoin, you have very limited data inputs. All right, you do not know the insiders. You can't really see much other things. Then at this point in time of the season, technical analysis, looking at the most core fundamental of them all, the moving average of the 50-day versus a 200-day, that becomes itself a self-fulfilling prophecy. So we pray hard. Month of September is a curse. We pray hard it will become a blessing.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Now, we are all very passionate about Bitcoin because we believe that it is an instrument. It is an amazing instrument to preserve wealth, to capture and store your financial energy so there's no leak, right? And that's the reason why we are organizing the Global Bitcoin Festival this October. It's a gathering of industrial expert and enthusiast committee or a community of Bitcoin holder. It is a movement, right? It's a movement to update, promote education, adoption of Bitcoin. So when more people adopt Bitcoin, there's more education and there's more people holding Bitcoin, it's a supply and demand thing. It will definitely make this community more stronger, right? And hence, and drive the Bitcoin in the direction that is up. Yeah. And I want to announce now that we have another speaker. That last session, we tell you that we have a great speaker that or someone that is going to be present at the Global Bitcoin Festival. There's none other than Michael Saylor. And today we have one more, okay? And his name is Kelvin O'Reilly. Correct already?
Wow!
He's a billionaire, and he will be appearing in the Global Bitcoin Festival. We will announce to you more later. So we need your support to tell more people about this so that more people can come and join us at the Global Bitcoin Festival. So we need your support on this. Now, it's a public knowledge that, Dr. Clemen, it's a public knowledge that Warren Buffett wealth is made over the last couple of years. Yeah. Now, we don't know how he make his money, but we know that he hold a lot of stocks. He don't sell a lot, and maybe he sell a lot. Now, question for you, and also a question by Thomas Antonio William, just on the chat group too. Now, question for you is, which way is better? Do we take profit along the way when the Bitcoin price go to 2x, 5x, 10x, 100x? Or do we, like Warren Buffett, that hold some of them forever, and Michael Saylor that never sell a single Satoshi of Bitcoin? So that is a question for you. And also we want to ask you, what is your investment style?
Wow, that's a great question. And there are three parts to your master question, right? So we're going to dive in to look at study together Warren Buffett. And what we do at our Spiking Analytics, we really nail down the top 100 investors in the world. We call them the top 100 insiders. So of course, we have Warren Buffett today. He's ranked number 1 right up here. And simply because he controls about $308 billion, what we call it as AUM, asset under management. All right. The number 2 guy, Nick Schomer, 241 billion, Kenneth Fisher, 150 billion, and so on. Now we have the data of these guys here, but we also have the data of the best out there in the planet Earth. Vanguard, AUM, asset under management, 4.2 trillion. So everybody, we are not just thinking about Warren Buffett, we are thinking much higher level. BlackRock, 3.7 trillion, State Street, $2 trillion. Now, so what we do, we have the insight of all these great money managers and then kind of shape our investment philosophy. And the philosophy is this. I want to address one myth, and that is, one of the most important things we look at is actually the sovereign wealth fund, the wealth of the country. Because you see, the best investor today, I can tell all of you, is actually you, the ordinary investor. Because what you buy or sell, you are not accountable to anybody. You don't have to go to a annual general meeting. You don't have to send out monthly shareholder report. You are just you alone. But for all these guys like Warren Buffett, he got to face his shareholders. Like for all these funds like BlackRock, they have to face their shareholders. And the one that has the highest obligation of them all is actually the sovereign wealth fund, because they have to face the electors, people who voted them into office, that manages the entire nation's wealth. So right up here, you can see, we kind of presented the data in a way that, right, number one, Korea Investment Corp, $36 billion. Number two is Singapore's Temasek, $30 billion. Number three is Saudi Arabia, $14.4 billion. And Her Majesty, $11.9 billion. So we also have the data of sovereign wealth fund. So putting all these three together, it has kind of shaped my investment philosophy. Minimally, number one, we always aim for minimum 100% profit return. But in the context for Bitcoin, which is very different from the stock market, this is where we minimally aim for 5x. So we started back in 2020, and last year it was on the first day of the third Bitcoin halving event. We kind of bought averagely priced $8,000 per Bitcoin. So by the time it hit 40,000, that's like 8 times 5, 40,000. We are already sitting on 5 times of the return. We know we are in a very good shape. Then from that point, it starts to move from 40,000 all the way to 60,000. We kind of know it's shaky already. We say, okay, look at the data. Keep looking at the data. It is time for us to place a stop limit order. And that is to preserve our profit. So step 2, we kind of go out there and tell everybody, hey, I think we got at least like some of them are already hitting like 7x, 8x, depending on what price they bought. I say, please put on your stop limit order, because to hit more than 5x is damn fantastic for an ordinary investor. So we did exactly that. And then the next thing, the market kind of fell through. So we were able to preserve our profits. Now, at this point, step 2, we have a situation right now. The market is kind of moving like this, all right? Floating around 50,000, teasing us because we spoke about the fact that the moment it touches 53,000, Bitcoin is going to be back on the $1 trillion market cap race. And that's the reason why we are also looking at what? Hey, is the 50-day moving average crossing above the 200-day moving average? Hey, that one is also coming. Next one, is the Bitcoin ETF coming up for grabs? Yes, 14th of November. So we have all these trigger points kind of set us back to the day one of a Bitcoin halving event. You are looking at this golden opportunity today, right here. Let me show you where you are looking at right here, this little tip here. This is your window of opportunity right now, with 3 low-hanging fruits, right, not too far away from your distant future. Number 1, 50-day crossing above 200-day. Number 2, Bitcoin coming back to $1 trillion market cap. And number 3, November 14, we're going to have a Bitcoin ETF potential approval. And putting all these 3 together, what will gel up your psychology? And that's the reason why, Richard and together with Success Resources take the lead and say, hey, we got to do and launch a global Bitcoin festival. Kind of sync our mentality, psychology, check all the blind spots, make sure we cover all grounds and say, let's go in for the kill. And that's exactly where we are right now, Richard. Thank you for the question.
Thank you. Now, let me see. Antonio, right? Antonio. Thomas. Hope Dr. Clemen answer your question, address your question. So, Dr. Clemen, thank you so much for your wisdom. Now, as I mentioned, we are organizing the Global Bitcoin Festival. This October is a gathering of industry expert and enthusiast community of passionate Bitcoin holder to update, promote education and adoption of Bitcoin. So, Dr. Clemen, can you have one last word on those who are standing by the sideline, and what will you say to them?
Wow, I got a lot of things to say to them. First of all, we better turn on the screen and look at this chap, this little guy here. And he's a huge guy, not a little guy, all right? This is the record holder right now, which is, we call it the #1 advocate in the world, because every day he's tweeting about Bitcoin. And we are so blessed and honored to have him speaking at our Global Bitcoin Festival. Now, every time he speaks, he presents a different idea. And the one that we want him to bring across to our audience at the Global Bitcoin Festival is an idea that will mobilize an entire community. It's not the kind of ideas he's speaking to Bloomberg, CNBC, Wall Street Journal. No, it will be a speech dedicated to our community at the Global Bitcoin Festival. That's the reason why, once we kind of nail him down and say he's committed, guess what? Everybody eyes will be on him, and together with Shark Tank, and Mr. Shark Tank, we call him Kevin O'Reilly, he will be coming on board. He's very, very vocal. And I want to tell you guys, this is really major for them to come on board. And I believe that, very soon we're going to release even more names. Powerful exchanges going to speak on our platform. Powerful founders of crypto exchanges will be speaking. Powerful owners of crypto coins will be speaking. There's so much more. I do not want to let the cat out of the bag, but you guys stay tuned. Go ahead and register for the event.
Thank you so much. We need your support. Please do help us to promote this, so that if you are holding a Bitcoin, the more people holding it, the more powerful is the community, and the more energy we have, and it is going to be an amazing movement. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll see you again next week. Have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.